bunch of potatoes or a bunch of toast or whatever, okay? What this means is within that 50 grams of carb that you hit a day, most of that is around your workout. Hello there, what's up YouTube? Stephen here from CarterFitness and Nutrition. Today's video will be based on why you are not building muscle on a keto diet. Okay, but firstly, before we move on to the video, please like and subscribe to our channel. Press on the bell icon for more notifications. Doing this will allow us to put up more future videos in the future. This just helps support our channel. Okay, so first of all, what is keto? Okay, so keto is where your carbohydrates are below 50 grams per day. Okay, so this is a result of a low carb diet, but obviously lower than a standard low carb diet, which we'll explain in a different video. So basically, this is where your body is unable to use much glycogen. This is where it clears out from the muscle. And over time your body starts using what's called ketones, and ketones then becomes the body's glucose. Okay, so this is where the body energy is used from ketones. Okay, so basically, for example, when you cut out your glycogen, so that's from carbohydrates, when you stop using carbohydrates and consuming them, over time your body will then start developing ketones, which this will then become your new energy source for building muscle. Okay, so this is where the body starts getting used to those low form of carbohydrates. Okay, so there are some obviously side effects of being on a keto diet, obviously such as being lethargic, you feel more tired, you start, obviously your workout performance may go down, but this is like for the first while, and then your body really starts getting used to actually having ketones. But there is quite a lot of when it comes to side effects, but like I said, it takes time. Your body will then adjust to it. Okay, I do apologise if there is noise in the background, however, it is currently raining as hell out there, so I do apologise if it does interrupt in some cases. Okay, so tip number one, why you may not be building muscle on a keto diet: you're not training effective enough. You're not training hard enough. Okay, you need to train hard. So when it comes to being on a keto diet, you train no different than you are on a high carb diet. So when you're on that standard diet where you're eating carbohydrates, eating brown rice, you're eating those potatoes, you're eating that quinoa, okay, you need to train just as effective as you are on a keto, as a on a ketosis diet. Okay, so for example, so training hard means you go for that moderate rep range. Okay, to allow this, obviously you've got to try and organise what to have around your workout. So obviously if your caffeine levels are down, you feel lethargic, maybe up your caffeine, maybe add in a coffee, okay, maybe add some kind of pre-workout stimulant to allow yourself to push that a little bit harder, maybe add in some creatine to push yourself out a little bit more as well. Add something, okay, because if you're not able to perform well when it comes to being on a ketosis, then maybe add that, just do a little bit of a twitch, okay, just switch things around and see how that works. Okay, there are always ways of improving your workout performance. You can't always blame it on your diet. Sometimes it is to do with you might be lacking on something. Okay. Tip number 2, you're not eating enough protein. Now obviously when it comes to being on a keto diet, it's actually much easier to consume more protein considering the limit of carbohydrates. But some people, however, do not eat enough protein. Some people eat more fat than protein when it comes to it. Now obviously fats are obviously more dominant when it comes to being on a keto, but making sure your protein is up there by at least 1 gram protein per pound of body weight is pretty much ideal, especially if you are currently losing body fat and you're on a keto. Then I would definitely keep your protein up around there. You don't need any more than that. So make sure you're eating foods like beef, okay, eat chicken, basically lean meats that contain no carbohydrates. You might be able to squeeze in a few of these plant-based proteins, but they're pretty much full of carbohydrates, so you're better off sticking with the meats and the eggs, okay, and perhaps maybe some milk. There are some yogurts out there. There's an Alpro vegan yogurt of some sort that some shops sell. It's a non-carbohydrate yogurt, so that can come to use as well. It's high in protein. It's around about 8 grams of protein per 100 grams, so that's pretty useful. Greek yogurt in some cases can be. There's a little bit of carbs in there, but as long as you're not going over about 50 grams a day, you'll be okay. So that is essential. If you are struggling with protein intake, however, maybe pick yourself up some BCAAs, some branched chain amino acids, and consume those. Either during your workout session, before or after, or just sip it throughout the day, making your water taste good, however you want to do it, just as long as your protein intake is around 1 gram per pound of body weight. Tip number 3, you are limiting how much healthy fats you are consuming. Healthy fats are obviously crucial when it comes to hormone production. So when it comes to increasing your testosterone, you want to make sure you are consuming enough healthy fats. Around about 65 grams plus is roughly a good enough range of healthy fats. Obviously foods like avocados, olive oil, full fat beef, okay, foods like that. You've got nuts, obviously you want to try and limit those, they're high in calories. Like coconut oil, all these kind of foods, okay, are very useful when it comes to keeping your hormone levels in check. So without good hormone levels, it is very hard to build muscle, so you need to ensure that your fats are in a moderate range at least, not in the low range, 65 grams or above. So remember, when it comes to a keto diet, usually the more dominant macronutrient is fat. You're usually at around 150 plus grams of fat a day on a keto diet, okay? So be sure to consume enough fat so you're able to build that amount of muscle, keeping your testosterone levels at an ideal range. Tip number 4. Now this doesn't apply to everybody, but if you're one of these people that's struggling to build muscle on a keto diet, then by all means take this one to account. This one is eating carbohydrates around your workout. Now this doesn't mean you go and eat a massive bowl of brown rice or a whole bunch of potatoes or a bunch of toast or whatever, okay? What this means is within that 50 grams of carb that you hit a day, most of that is around your workout. So for example, you eat 10 grams before, 10 grams after. This allows your body to use the glycogen through your workout, and it will increase your overall performance, like linked on the first tip. You gotta ensure that your performance is top tip, and the way to do that is allow you to actually have carbohydrates pre and post workout. Some people do drink carbohydrate drinks during, but the only problem is carbohydrates can be around 30 grams of carbs, which is pretty high, and then you only got that 20 grams throughout the whole day. So what your aim is try and put most of your carbohydrates before and after your workout, and I guarantee you'll see better results. Tip number 5, nutrient deficiencies. So basically a lot of people when they're on a keto diet tend to find that they are deficient in most nutrients. Because of lacking carbohydrates, because of your carbs are down to that lower level, you may see obviously deficiencies in certain vitamins, especially when it comes to like vitamin B, some forms of vitamin A. Usually you can find a lot of that in spinach. Vitamin C especially, you can find quite a bit of vitamin C and stuff like brown rice, okay. You'd be lacking in minerals as well, especially usually zinc, because a lot of carbohydrates do contain zinc, crucial for hormone production as well. Magnesium. So what you've got to do, you've got to try and ensure that you're getting those nutrients. Use a multivitamin, okay. There is no need for omega-3s because you're already getting that from your fats. So you just need something like a multivitamin, a vitamin D supplement, vitamin K, vitamin B12 for energy production, okay? You need these vitamins because being low in these can mean decreased workout performance and decreased recovery. And final tip, Alright, tip number 6. Now keep this one in account, because when it comes to being on a high carb diet, this one is obviously easy to have. Drinking enough water. Now, when you're on a high carb diet, your body is more able to hold that water, which means you can drink less of it. Obviously because it's not going right through you, okay? But obviously being in an extreme high carb diet can mean drinking more water, obviously because then the more water you drink, the more you're holding, and then the more you're peeing, okay? So, basically, when you're on a keto diet, you haven't necessarily got all that carbohydrate, all the glycogen holding water in the muscles. Unless you're taking creatine, however, you're not exactly going to be holding a lot of water in the muscle, okay? So the whole idea is drinking enough water is crucial, because you're more likely to dehydrate sooner. So not saying you dehydrate within an hour, because that's not dehydration, that is thirst. What you may experience is being more thirsty more often. Dehydration may come in within the 4 to 5 hour range rather than the 8 to 9. So be sure to keep up on your water intake. Be sure to consume around 1 gallon of water a day, just to be safe. Obviously, as like I've mentioned before, you need energy to build muscle, you need water, okay, and you need protein. As long as you've got these 3, you can build muscle. There is nothing called carbohydrates in there, okay? So being on a keto diet means you can build muscle. That is possible, you just got to do the right thing and keep everything in check. And yes, so that's everything that we got for these top 6 tips. Hope you found them useful. Obviously being on a keto isn't bad, but it isn't good. It depends on you. I can't do keto personally. I love carbs too much, so for me it wouldn't work. Obviously my last 3 days and during that peak week before my show, obviously that is when I do adjust into a keto diet, but personally for me it wouldn't work, but for you it might. But these 6 tips would just be here to help you out, just in case you do start hindering some muscle gains. So please do put some notes down if you need to. But yeah, please like and subscribe to our channel. Please be sure to check our Instagram, which I'll put the link down below for the Instagram, CarterFitness90. Feel free to check our Acast. We have a website as well. We'll put the link down in the description for the website. And yeah, that's about everything. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.